Since 1970, Michigan's senior population, that's age 65 and older, has grown from about 750,000 to about 1.9 million people, nearly matching the decline in children under 18 from 3.25 million to around 2.1 million. Oakland County's blueprint for successful aging highlights challenges like housing costs, burdens, healthcare shortages, and barriers to benefits access. Joining me on the Splash Live to discuss more about senior services right here in our area is Senior Services Manager for WB Parks, Bernadette Hudgins. Thank you for being here, Bernadette.
Hi, thank you. I'm really glad to be here with you as well.
Yeah, I'm very, very curious about this. Aging is something that we all aspire to do. God willing, we're able to, get into an older age. But this is something that we need to pay attention to. It's saying that basically our residents in Michigan, specifically even in Oakland County, they're getting older and our youth aren't necessarily matching that. So with Michigan's rapidly aging population, what new senior-focused programs are West Bloomfield Parks and Recreation Commission considering to better support our older adults?
Well, I will tell you, one of the things that we have a major focus on is making sure we're providing resources and services. So we just finished our Americans Community Living Act. We had a grant, and it was a wonderful grant, which was provided to us by Haley Stevens. And that grant allowed us to do some programming around nutrition, social interaction, and making sure that we're creating a space for people to feel comfortable aging in place, because that's what most people are making their preference at this point, to age in their home. So having activities for them to be able to do that.
That's an interesting.
And to get them out of the house.
Right. That's an interesting phrase that you brought, aging in place. So that's something I haven't been privy to. But as you said that, it kind of made sense. Just pretty much staying where you are, where you're comfortable, where you've grown. And most people probably already own their house and been there for decades. And why would I want to go anywhere else? And with that being said, I want to ask you about something too, your work, possibly collaboration with other organizations. The Oakland County's Blueprint for Successful Aging is what we talked about briefly. Are you all collaborating with this blueprint to address some of this housing cost burdens and transportation, and what does that look like?
Well, our role here is to focus on the programming. So when we think about the WB Parks Connect Senior Center is about having activities and resources and information and educational opportunities for our Bloomfield residents. So our goal is to make sure that we're having things that people can get out, do, as well as get information that will help them live their best life. So again, wonderful, you have a video from one of our holiday events. So again, these are the things that we have. So we have that was one of our luncheons. We create those opportunities for people to come and socialize, meet new people. You see, we have a new cornhole kit. We've expanded our game room. So we're focusing on bringing everybody. We don't want anyone to think that it's just about women, but it's about everybody and creating space for activities.
Inclusivity. Love that. Love that. And it seems like you all are, like you said, incorporating new things as well to kind of keep them moving along and feel active and engaged as well. Now, a lot of services are only accessible online as well, resources. And with that being said, there's kind of this barrier that we talked about on Civic Center TV before about technology in our senior residents. What strategies are in place to assist some of these seniors in navigating maybe some benefits or resources online, especially tackling some of those technology and online form concerns?
You know what? That's a great question, Kevin. There are so many things out there that individuals just don't know about. Like, there's actually a program that we have here in WB Parks, and we do it in partnership with the library. It's once a month. It's usually the first Monday of the month in the afternoon, late afternoon, where you can come and learn how to use your technology. That's first the number one thing, because as we all know, there's no longer a Yellow Pages. So if you want to get a contact with someone, you need to know how to access the internet to be able to do that. So that tool is accessible. There's also some other resources out online called AARP has Senior Planet, which is an online tool that people can access. And I will give you these links so when you post it, you can provide it. There's also a partnership that the state of Michigan has with another online training program, and that's it's through the state of Michigan. And those online resources provide free classes, whether it be educational or exercise classes. If you want to have a book club, if you want to participate in a book club, if you want to socialize with people, there's opportunities to do that, and you can do that online. But the challenge is if you don't understand technology and you're not comfortable with it, it would make that difficult. So we do have resources, and we're having some conversations of potentially thinking what are some more frequent classes we can have. So we're trying to figure out what that would look like.
Yeah, I know that's a big factor in just modern living nowadays, being able to navigate and utilize technology and different devices. So that's no, I mean, our senior residents aren't an exception. And I hate to say the word senior and refer to them as that, but we'll talk a little bit more about that coming up. Right now, joining me right here live on The Splash, Senior Services Manager for WB Parks, Bernadette Hudgins, talking about the growing population of older residents in Michigan, even specifically in West Bloomfield Township and Oakland County. Now, I just want to get off track a little bit, if I'm not mistaken. We briefly spoke about the terminology of seniors, if I'm not mistaken. I want you to kind of clarify this. We talked about it off camera. Let's talk about this a little bit more. A lot of people refer to them as seniors. Is this the right term to use? Are they comfortable with this, not comfortable?
I think it depends on the person.
Okay.
What I'm finding is people are living longer. And so you have 50-year-olds. Back in the day, you might have called them a senior. Oh, don't call me that. So we are thoughtful about the terms that we use. But I have had a number of people say, just call me Mary. Just call me John. You don't have to put a title on me. So I think that that's just important, too, to find out how someone wants to be referred to. But when you think about a group, we are thoughtful to use the word older adult. People can take offense to the word elderly. So again, just being thoughtful of making sure people feel included. And people shut up. I was talking to a sorority sister the other day, and she says, we have all these great programs, but our 50-year-olds and our 60-year-olds don't want to join because it has the term senior on it. And they're not realizing that these resources and information are helpful for them as well. So you may notice in some groups, they're getting away from the term senior or even older adults, and they're just using the age. So they may say 50 and older or 55 and above. So to not turn anyone off is to, again, the goal is to have people utilize the resources. And we want people who are younger to get the resources. And you may be aware that AARP is offering their membership to much younger population because they know that they want to inform people earlier so that you have the resources even before you need them.
Right. Yeah, and is getting ahead of it is the key of it all as well. But getting back to the whole point, yes, I just want to clarify that as well, because sometimes we put labels on people and they may or may not be comfortable with it. So addressing them directly, or at least asking them how they like to be addressed, is probably the most respectful thing. Thank you for that from your experience. Now, we have a lot of communal spaces in our area, parks, events, fitness programs. How does the township and WB Parks adapt those spaces to meet the needs of some of our older adults, as opposed to maybe the youth or even just the younger adults?
Well, it's so funny you say that, because we are constantly trying to think through how can we create spaces that are accessible to all? Because what we found is if you're focusing on making things age-friendly, you're going to capture everyone. So something that may benefit an older adult may also support a mother who has a child in a stroller. So it's all these things of how do we make our spaces more accessible to all? And actually, that's one of the investments that we recently made here at Connect. The beginning of the year, we added automated doors on the front as well as at the restroom, because our goal is to, again, include everyone and help people be able to participate. But I think that's really important, thinking about creating space and making sure that they're accessible, whether it be by wheelchair or by walker, all the things to reduce trip hazards so that people can be safe and have fun and enjoy themselves outside of their home.
Correct. Very considerate, and it's good to know that you all are making those changes and making adaptations, I should say, to different environments to help our older adult residents as well. Now, you handed me over a large packet with a lot of information regarding the older adult residents in our area and, you know, some of the information. But with that being said, given projections that Michigan will have a natural population decrease by 2050, what does this mean for future planning of senior versus youth services in West Bloomfield?
Well, this is one of the things that we're constantly keeping our eye out for, especially as we're thinking about, as we're working on building our new multi-generational community center, making sure that the spaces are thoughtful to be inclusive, thinking about where do we space things, where do we put things, so that we can be inclusive and also thoughtful about larger programs, smaller programs. Where will people relax? Where will people actually want to get away to? Because since we're all going to be in one building, we acknowledge that, some older adults may say, I love to see the kids in passing, but I don't want to hear them. So, okay, well, where do you put them? So all these things are important to make sure that people, again, feel like they are part of the process and that they're able to have a comfortable space.
Right. Well said. That was funny. With me right here live on the Splash, by the way, Senior Services Manager Bernadette Hudgins from WB Parks, just talking about the growing older adult population in Michigan, Oakland County, and West Bloomfield Township. Curious, building this connection between the younger residents and the older adult residents. How can younger residents in West Bloomfield contribute to and connect with the senior community through volunteer programs and maybe even intergenerational activities?
Actually, we are trying to figure out the best way to do that in our senior space. We've been talking about some kind of programming that we want to do, more programming around intergenerational activities. We currently have the Parks Children's Program. They currently have some programs this summer, actually, with Grandma and Me, Grandpa and Me. So some programs we do currently have that are either in our guide or preparing to be in the next seasonal guide around engaging with your grandparents. So I think that's one piece. So coming on out and having fun with us. Another piece is, I think technology is a great way to connect the younger population and the older population. It's just amazing how children between, the age of 1, how they understand technology in a way that most people may not, only because they live their entire lives with it. And so with that being said, I think technology is a great way to keep people connected. Nice. And teaching the children, teaching the older folks how to use technology. And I think the best age to do that is really the ages of 11 to like 14. And then because they are just so excited that they know something that you don't know, that they're really helpful and really patient in educating their family members and friends.
Yeah, I love that. We got to build that bridge. That way the younger residents here can actually, connect with them and see a little bit more of themselves in our older residents as well. Bernadette, we appreciate so much of your time. Any lasting information you want to briefly get off before we let you go?
I do. We actually are having our Connect open house, and we're doing that on August the 26th, and make sure I have my time right, from 1 to 3:30, and that will be captured in our guide. So more information to come. That will be in our fall guide. We hope to see the seniors there. We're going to have all of our programmers from throughout all of Parks there, along with some of our instructors. We think that it's really important that people get a chance to know some of the resources and information that's available here at Connect. So we're really excited, and we're looking forward to seeing people on August the 26th here at Connect. Our address is 33230 West 14 Mile here in West Bloomfield.
All right. Well done. And thank you so much again for sharing that information and that insight. Senior Services Manager for WB Parks Recreation Commission, Bernadette Hudgins. Thank you again.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.